Yeah, the size changed. We used traps and snares, and mostly number ones and ones and a halves, Victors, which my father closely regulated, kept close track of where his traps were being borrowed,
Mm-hmm.
because us kids are, like most kids, were a bit careless with the equipment. I suppose most children are careful, or not too careful with their parents' equipment,
Mm-hmm.
and so we were monitored quite closely, as far as that goes. But snares snares were a little more available to us, and we were pretty proficient at using snares, because
Mm-hmm.
we'd we'd used them for muskrat, or for rabbits, so much that we were pretty good with snares, and we would catch fox and animals like that with snares.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the traps were concerned, uh, we weren't near so good with
Mm-hmm.
those.
Did you ever make your own snares?
No, we never did. We
Hmm.
used Thompson. Used Thompson snares mostly. Thompson was a well-known,
Mm-hmm.
well-respected uh, brand of snare that was available. That and Cleft Lock.
Mm-hmm.
Cleft Lock. CLEFTLOCK. They've gone out of business since then, I think.
Hmm.
And Thompson is still in business.
Oh, okay. Do you have any, when you were on your trap line, how long would you be gone?
Oh, usually the kids, as a child or as an adult.
As an adult, yeah.
Oh golly, sometimes for days. Generally not.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, generally a day or so.
Mm-hmm.
As I got older and began trapping, uh, like around Kenny Lake, Copper Center area, uh, I extended out and had longer lines, and sometimes I was gone for 2, 3 days, 4 or 5 days, when I'd be working on lines. When I would go out, maybe work on lines and work on my trail, maybe, or be working on the line, improving it, maybe working on a cabin or so on. But generally, if I was just checking a line, most of those lines I could come back home that night,
Oh.
but not always.
Mm-hmm.
Like I ran one line up the Chittenden River, and we would run that, and we would run that all day, and we would go into a tent at night, or a cabin.
Mm-hmm.
There was a cabin there that we fixed up. So Milo and I, and we would go into the tent, spend the night in the tent, and then the next morning get up and continue on and check the traps that day, and then maybe that night come back home, or maybe not,
Mm-hmm.
depending on. It was river ice. It was the Chittenden River is what we were running, and it was very very bad ice, and we were quite cautious.
Mm.
We were pretty scared of it, to tell you the truth,
Mm-hmm.
because it was real dangerous ice, and we would run it cautiously,
Mm-hmm.
and So that particular line was one that we ran multiple days on, depending on time of the year. So as the ice got better throughout the winter, we had less to worry about, and we had more secure ice to run our snowmobiles on.
Okay, so you use snowmobiles. Did you ever use sled dogs?
I never did, not after leaving Northway. When I left Northway when I was a kid, my father had a dog team, and we would occasionally hook up with dogs and use them for a run. But, I was never allowed to run dogs. My father, well, see, I left home when I was in 8th grade, and prior to that, my father never allowed us kids to take the team out. We were just never allowed to. Generally, like in the Copper River, the trappers pretty well respected one another's trap line, and there was occasionally a problem with some guy. Generally, it was not. Generally, it was thought that any trapper that brushed out a trail and has a trail, he's more than a mile off the road, and he's trapping that, and he's well, what's the word I'm looking for? He's more than a mile off the road, and he's brushed the trail out. It's his trail to run for trapping, and generally it's respected by other trappers. Not always, but occasionally there was a problem. I can remember a few, but there's a way of dealing with that, and generally it's subtle pressure is the best way, and just like people disagree on a variety of things, they can disagree on that. They don't have to respect the trapper's lines, but they generally do in the end. And I say in the end because in the end they usually move on or come around to our way of thinking, to the trapper's way of thinking. There isn't a lot of room for disagreement, although there is some disagreement. There is a lot of room. Generally, the trap lines are passed down to the family, or they're passed down anyway. Like I still hold trap lines that I still hold, and I don't trap them. My son traps them, and friends trap them, but they're trap lines that are Dean Wilson's trap line, and I still hold those rights to trap that if I am able or willing or so inclined. I can go back to trapping.